Lucas and the Outlaws add more full-timers. The Tulsa Shootout wraps up. We've got the Flo Series schedule, and we'll talk Rick Ferkel. Let's go. It's Monday, January 1st. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily. Happy New Year, friends. Hope that hangover isn't treating you too badly today. We've got a bunch of stuff to get into, and we'll start first with last night's Tulsa Shootout results. As is usual, plenty of wild moments during the week, including a few scuffles at the top of the ramp, a thrown steering wheel or two. But even with that amount of cars in one place, the cream always seems to rise to the top. In the younger categories, Braxton Flatt made a nice late move on J.J. Beeson to score the junior sprint victory after starting in 6th, and the restricted win went to Wyatt Miller, who started on the pole and drove onto a nearly 2.6-second margin of victory. Both the younger categories were won by drivers piloting cars campaigned by Chad Boat. And Wyatt Miller, if you don't know, is the son of Kelly Earnhardt Miller and L.W. Miller and is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s nephew. He's become a regular at Millbridge Speedway, and the Earnhardt bloodline seems like it's alive and well. The night's stock non-wing victory went to Frank Flood. Ricky Thornton Jr. looked like the car to beat in that race, driving from 6th to the lead, but his engine went south late, giving the top spot to Chris Carroll, who then got outdueled by the 9th starting Flood. The Outlaw non-wing feature was won by Blake Hahn, who started 3rd, picked up his 9th career Golden Driller. In A-Class, it was an incredible comeback win for Ashton Torgerson, who had that terrifying midget crash at the Chili Bowl a year ago. He was out front early, held off challenges from both Flood and Dazen Pursley. And in the night's finale, Emerson Axum drove from 4th to the front by lap 16 and went the distance for his 4th career Driller. It was also his 3rd career winged Outlaw score. Jake Hagopian finished 2nd in his Tulsa Shootout finale, and Joe B. Miller was 3rd in that one. With the shootout now complete, the focus for the Tulsa Expo Center will shift to the Chili Bowl. Teams practice next Sunday, that's January 7th, with racing beginning a week from today on Monday, January 8th. Before we move on, if you aren't subscribed to our email newsletter, The Slider, you can check that out over at dirttracker.com/The Slider. Later in December, we had an interview with Bill Baylog from Jordan Willman as the North Pole Nightmare gets set for his World of Outlaws rookie run. We've also had a recent piece from Earnhardt Jaworski that came out the day after Christmas. It was about the new era of sprint car racing and the coexistence that will be necessary for success on both sides. And coming up, I've got another interview, this one with Casey Kane. You can sign up to get the emails free, and if you want to contribute an article for a future issue, let me know. I do pay for submissions that get published. We talked yesterday about some recent series commitments on the sprint car side, and I wanted to double back to a few late model ones that have happened in recent weeks as well. On the World of Outlaws late model side, I believe we're now at 14 total for next season. We did get the official nod from the series about Bobby Pierce returning, but we already knew about that one. He'll be back to defend his series championship, and at the moment, I think based on commitments, I'd say Brandon Sheppard will be his closest competition. Of the top 5 in 2023 points, the 2 drivers we didn't know about yet were Chris Madden, who remains uncommitted at this moment, and Kyle Bronson. But the series announced back on December 27th that Bronson will return next season as a full-timer with the World of Outlaws Late Model Series. He ended this past year 4th in the standings with a win, 11 top 5s, and 24 top 10s. He had a very strong month of June where he picked up his win. He led laps in 6 of 8 straight races and had 6 podiums. The team did switch to Longhorns partway through the season, and this time off should give them a chance to reset and have those cars ready to go come Florida. I think this team should be in the mix again regularly in 2024, and multiple series wins are possible. On the Lucas side, we've got one fresh face coming in and one championship contender back for 2024. The fresh face is North Carolina driver Daniel Adam. He raced 42 times in 2023 across various late model series and Legends cars. He made 3 Lucas appearances, all at East Bay, and 4 Outlaw appearances. One of those came at Brownstown, plus he ran all 3 nights at World Finals. He'll join the series at Golden Isles in January, running rocket chassis with Pro Power engines. And the championship contender that's returning is Devin Moran. This one, not really a surprise, and I don't know that I've seen it posted anywhere super publicly, but I was informed via the DIRTRACKR Instagram account from Moran's camp that he will be back next season. He nearly stole the championship at Eldora in 2023 as a bit of a dark horse coming into that Final Four at the Dirt Track World Championship. He eventually finished 2nd in the championship behind series title winner Hudson O'Neal. Moran had 2 Lucas wins a year ago driving for Double Down Motorsports and had an insane run to the finish that saw him finish 9th or better in 17 straight races to close out the season. That team definitely figured out something late in the summer, and we know Moran can pile up wins when he gets hot. The additions of Moran and Adam take the Lucas field to 11 at the moment. Some names we are still waiting to hear 2024 plans for include Jonathan Davenport, Brandon Overton, and Tyler Erb. Overton has obviously talked about wanting to be back with Lucas next season. I haven't heard anything about Overton, and some rumors have pointed to Erb maybe going pick and choose next season. The final big schedule piece we were waiting for on the late model side for this upcoming racing season was released in recent days as well. The FloRacing Night in America late models will again be back for 10 races at 9 tracks. Spoon River, Lincoln, Brownstown, Macon, Eldora, Fairbury, Lernerville, I-75, and Sonoya will all host the series from May 8th through November 16th this year. All are weekday shows except the finale at Sonoya, and all will pay $20,000 to win at least. The 2-win amounts were adjusted down from last year, but Series GM Ben Shelton says they redistributed that money down through the field and are growing feature fields from 22 cars up to 24. The payouts are in line with what we'd heard about what Flo was going to do before, and with some of the changes we've seen elsewhere, this is kind of in line with places like Eldora. This will be year 3 of this mini-series with Brandon Shepard and Bobby Pierce winning the titles the first 2 go-arounds. You can see the full Flo schedule over at floseries.com. Finally today, some sad news in the sprint car world. The Ohio Traveler, Rick Ferkel, passed away at the age of 84. Ferkel is a sprint car Hall of Famer and was one of the original World of Outlaws drivers. He's also 29th all-time in Outlaw wins at 21. Besides his time as a racer, he was also a series official, crew chief, and campaigned cars for all sorts of other drivers. Social media is being lit up today by tributes to Ferkel, who was instrumental in so many careers throughout his life, including the one of now NASCAR Cup Series driver Christopher Bell. If you want to hear from the Ohio Traveler yourself, go find Open Red episode number 91 from back in 2018. Me and Ross Weiss got to interview him, and in that episode, he tells the famous story of building a sprint car out of his daughter's swing set and then taking it to Eldora. As he talks about, money was tight. He was building cars and chassis at his home and needed some metal tubing because he'd been crashing too often. It's one of the classic Open Red moments and an insane story you should absolutely hear for yourself if you haven't heard it before. A quick Google search will lead you to that episode. So long to the Ohio Traveler. That's it for the show today. The streaming schedule is quiet, but you can find it anytime over at DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. A ton of other cool stuff is available over at DIRTRACKR.com as well. And I did get asked here today about other YouTube channels that you can watch kind of while we're in this off season and these breaks in between some races. If you go youtube.com/DIRTRACKR and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a ton of other YouTube channels there from drivers and series and racetracks, all sorts of stuff there. So plenty of other good content can be found via the the DIRTRACKR YouTube channel. I hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.